How to win a game of One Piece. Alright guys, Tyler's on vacation, my editor's on vacation. When I upload this video, I'll be on vacation. So I'm doing this on no sleep, just in front of my camera, no editing, one take. I'm going to be reading a little bit from a script, so sorry if I don't make eye contact the whole time. But yeah, this is the single most important video to date on our channel. Let's get it started. So, what does winning the game entail? So for someone who just kind of plays casually, or maybe they're going to the top tournament scene, playing a game of One Piece or winning a game of One Piece is just kind of going through the motions, and I counter, you counter, and I hopefully come out on top. But for people who are trying to attain the highest level of play, it is much more than that. We are trying to construct a mathematical win. I touched on this in my fundamentals videos, but I'm going to go through some of the ways that we've come up with to not just win the game, but win the game without fail. Win the game with a mathematical win where no matter what happens, our opponent could not have won against us. So one of the most important things is controlling their resources. We like to make attacks that will make the opponent want to discard. So for instance, I might attack a 5k with a 5k, instead of, attached to Dawn attacking for 7. I do this because I want my opponent to use their hand. When they have a full board, I know what I'm playing against. Like, I know everything I have to do when they have a full board, but when your opponent has a full hand, it's a mystery, right? They have counters, they can not have counters, they can be on garbage, they can have their boss monster. So one of the important things is, even though you could kill something right away, like attacking a Zoro for 7. Maybe you attack for 5 first, and then attack for 7 something else. This is giving you accumulated information over the course of a game. If that makes sense. Another one, and this is a personal favorite of the Boat Beard players, Tyler Green and I talked about this strategy a lot. And it's called baiting kill swings. So this is a way to induce attacks based on a perceived weakness. This is generally your opponent attacking you. So an instance where I used this in a tournament at Peoria, actually. I had 5 cards in hand. I had 4 1k counters and a 2k counter. Me and my opponent are in a pretty close game, and he attacks for 7k, which, we know 7k, a magic number, good against 5k. Now, logically, I think you would discard a 2k and a 1k, therefore giving you more options down the road. And also, you might be able to be like, oh, I have 3 cards. He might, pump the brakes a little bit. But that certain time in the game, that's not what I wanted. I wanted him to be aggressive so I could kill him on the crackback. So what I did is I discarded 3 1ks. And this caused him to look at his hand and look at his board, and he was like, well, he's only got 2 cards. Now I've got the math win, because if he had a 2k, he would have used it. And he ended up being aggressive and losing when he could have possibly won by holding back, simply because he perceived my hand was 1ks or no counters, but when in fact is I did have a 2k in my hand. I just comboed out in a way that it looked like I did not. I'll credit Jonathan Job for helping me with this. This is something we've been working on together. It's kind of based in the poker psychology. So it's just baiting kill swings, feigning weakness, just in the sequence and the amount of cards you're discarding. Don't always feel you have to use your optimal discards if you're trying to play the next level game and go for some mind games along with, actual gameplay. Excuse me, one take, difficult. All right. Now, the next skill, pardon me, probably the most difficult skill by a long shot, and this is being 5 steps ahead. So, most people, when they play, it's my turn, your turn, what am I going to do, right? But when you want to play at the highest levels, if you want to guarantee those wins, you need to construct your game plan 5 steps ahead. You need to know what you're going to do, what they're going to do, how you're going to respond to that, how you think they're going to respond to that, and finally back to you, how you're going to, respond to their response. Now, this isn't easy, and it's not like, obviously I can't sit there and like, I'm psychic, I know what you're going to do. But this is a way to increase your win percentage a significant amount. This is a statistically significant increase in your win percentage. If instead of starting looking at their response to your turn, you're looking at their response 2 turns away to what you're going to do. Now, this can change based on what's in your hand, what you draw, what they draw, how they act. But for the most part, in One Piece, while it's not linear, I feel you can construct this game plan a few turns ahead. That might be just the decks I play. If you're Zoro and you're always out of resources, you're kind of at the mercy of the top of your deck, which I don't like, so I don't play Zoro. But again, 5 steps ahead, really important. Just work on it. Work on knowing or trying to guess what they're going to do in response to what you're going to do in 2 turns. All right, next we're going to talk about Restraint. We came up with this at a local. Our teammate Paul has a little issue with Restraint. And Restraint is not always going for the win. This kind of ties in a little bit to what I was talking about earlier, where my opponent got aggressive based on perceived weakness. Like, sometimes you need to look at if they're going to die. Are they going to die? If the answer is no, you need to look at, well, am I going to die if I do this? Sometimes Restraint could also be not attacking your opponent's life. I've touched on this in my fundamentals, like I said. But you don't always, if I have a full board and my opponent's low on resources and they're on 2 life, I don't necessarily have to chip shot. I don't necessarily have to attack them to give them that extra card, maybe give them something that can turn the game around. If I can look to my next turn after their turn, I can think, well, he can draw 1 blocker, he can block this much. I maybe don't have to attack. Like, it's a weird concept, I know, but you do not always have to attack your leader, especially if you're attacking their leader. It's just something you don't have to do, and that's why Restraint to me is just, I wouldn't say it's the most important skill or even close to it, but I think it's one that over the course of a 9 or 10 round tournament will win you at least 1 game. Just think in your head, do I actually have to attack here? Do I have to chip shot them? Do I have to take them away that extra life? Or can I just take it all away in 1 turn? That way I'm giving them as few outs as possible. Alright, scrolling down here, sorry. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, this is the important one. And I stayed up all night on the sim to be able to talk about this. Quality testing is another really important thing to me. I know not everyone's lucky enough to have people around them who will play, or at least want to travel and play and learn and get better. Some people just want to play casually, which is fine. But here at Will to Win, of course, we're competitive. We like to win. So, an important part of this is quality testing. And the way you do this is you get 3 to 4 people. Hopefully these people are better than you. You play a game and you discuss, win or lose, it doesn't matter. You discuss what could have been done better. I, as a pet peeve, hate when I'm at a local, like you guys know me, I travel, I go to the coast, I like to play at other people's locals. And if someone doesn't know me and I beat them, I just don't like when they're like, I only lost because I didn't draw this. I only lost because I didn't draw this. I only lost because I didn't have another turn. Guys, it doesn't help you get better. What you need to talk about is what I could have done within the confines of the game with the cards I had. You can't always guarantee to win. Like, sometimes your opponent will draw better, sometimes they will have the nuts and you can't win. But I guarantee you, you will improve if instead of saying like, well, I only did wins, I didn't draw my Perona turn 1 with Doflamingo, you might be like, well, if I mulliganed better, or if I thought out my lines better, maybe I could have constructed a game plan where I didn't need my turn 1 Perona. And I know this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because, it's going around right now that this game is mostly variance. There's no like control over that, but I think the big thing right now is Edward Newgate. I talked about this in another video. People was like, "Oh, he drew back-to-back Newgates, couldn't possibly win." That that isn't always true. You need to start on turn 2, turn 1. How am I going to beat back-to-back Newgates? How am I going to beat these back-to-back Newgates because he got his nut draw? You shouldn't wait until they play back-to-back Newgate to try to beat back-to-back Newgate. Does that make sense? Sorry if I'm ranting. But anyway, this is my video on how to win. Like I said, guys, sorry, it's single take. You got bloopers. I rant a little bit because I'm tired. I'm about to go on vacation, going to Disney. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I talked too fast or I didn't go anything in depth enough, like always, just make sure you hit us up in the comments. We get back to almost every comment we can. If we miss it, I'm sorry, but we respond to what we can. But yeah, this is William Craddock, Will to Win Gaming, how to win a game in One Piece, and I will see y'all next week in Arlington, where hopefully me and Ty are going to make top 16 again, and maybe I won't lose in top 16. All right, see y'all next time.